I'm a liar. I said last episode was the best episode of the season, but it really was this one. So I'm going to talk about this episode by location as usual. King's Landing. Lena Headey is an amazing actress. She is capturing Cersei's despair and rage so well. I've said it before, but reading the books, I never really felt sorry for Cersei, but in the show, I actually feel a bit bad for her. Maybe it's partially because in the books we see how absolutely batshit crazy she is while she's just making terrible decision after terrible decision while drunk. Seeing her refuse the water but then slurping it off the floor is just a new low for Cersei. Qyburn's visit with the foreshadowing, the work continues. I'm so ready to see Strong. And we know that scene helped with also foreshadowing Cersei's walk of shame, which I imagine would be during the finale. I hope they show more of her breakdown next episode that leads her to asking for forgiveness and then her walk. And Tommen hiding in his chambers instead of eating and seeing people is more of a drive home that while Tommen may be a sweet boy, he's not the king Westeros needs right now, especially with the dawn of the dead coming. Arya scenes are always the best. Her assassin training is so much fun to watch. Not sure I liked her being called Lanna instead of Cat. I guess the show writers didn't want people confusing her with Catelyn Tully. And Lanna is a Lannister name, so they couldn't have picked like anything else. I did enjoy the nod when the word canal was said, and then we saw a cat run out in front of Arya. I kind of let the Lannister name thing go after seeing that, because that was a pretty cool nod. The learning to lie training is also great as well, and I'm still really excited to see her assassin training as it continues. Winterfell was a nice change of pace, seeing Sansa being more aggressive. I did not think Theon would admit to her that her two brothers are still alive, yet here we are. This opens up future plot lines for Sansa, or at least I hope it does. I really want to know what sick plan Ramsay has for Stannis. Love the wink to the book readers about leaving a feast for crows. Is Ramsay going to kill Stannis and lead to Mel working magic to bring the Lord of Light back, only to bring back a dead Jon? Or are we going to see the Red Witch sent away next episode and back to the Wall? Or will Ramsay's plan force Stannis into accepting Mel's plan of killing Shireen? I'm way too anxious about that little girl at this point. The Wall, my god, how much is this Ollie kid making per episode? And did Sam just give Ollie the justification he needed? Sometimes a man has to make hard choices. Choices that may look wrong to others, like stabbing your Lord Commander to death, but you know you are right in the long run. I wish we could see more of how the others in the Night Watch feel about Jon being gone, just little snippets of conversation, nothing too big. It feels like Ollie is being used as the voice of the Night's Watch. Unless Ollie is literally the only one that stabs Jon, which would be super weird. Another cool nod to book readers was when Sam goes, "I've been worrying about Jon for years. He always comes back," which I'm interpreting, and let me hold on to this hope, that D&D are saying, hey, we know you book readers have worried over whether Jon is alive or not for years, but don't worry, he's coming back. Tyrion and Daenerys were my second favorite of this episode. Holy heck, I needed to see sharp-tongued, clever Tyrion again, not whiny Tyrion. And Tyrion's playing it all cool. Well, I have to see if you're worth advising. While I did enjoy Tyrion giving great advice and reasoning it out about Jorah, it was still so sad. Poor Jorbear, he cannot catch a break, and his face going from desperation to hope to despair was just so sad. At least Tyrion convinced her to spare him, which I think Daenerys wanted to do, but she was afraid of appearing weak. I didn't really understand Jorah being the lovesick puppy who is now going back to being a slave to what? Prove his love? Die in a blaze of glory in front of her? Infect people with grayscale? He has to know there's no way she's going to take him back at this point. Which I know sucks for Jorah because he felt like he had purpose again with Daenerys, but maybe this is leading to Jorah infecting Daenerys' enemies if we ever see an attack on Meereen and spreading grayscale throughout their camps. But back to Tyrion and Daenerys. We know they won't meet like this, most likely, in the books, but it's an interesting twist. Tyrion is trying to tell her that having an army isn't enough. She needs a reality check that she's going to need more than an army to take Westeros. And if you think about it, she really needs to start getting in control of her dragons if she's going to do Aegon the Conqueror 2.0. Speaking of dragons, kind of interesting Tyrion didn't bring them up in their first private meeting. He is obsessed with dragons, and I figured that would have been brought up. Daenerys going, "I'm going to break the wheel," came across way better in this episode than in the trailer. In the trailer, it just seemed a little bit off. off, and Tyrion's kind of like, oh my god, I have so much work to do with this one. But seriously, Tyrion is probably one of her smartest advisors, and she has to see his verbal and political maneuvering are invaluable to her. I also like Daenerys bringing up the actions of Tyrion's siblings and fathers as well. I mean, if you think about it, is Daenerys really the one to point fingers when it comes to bad decisions made by fathers and siblings? So really looking forward to more Tyrion and Daenerys scenes, and wondering with the dragon flight scene what that means for Tyrion. And then my favorite scene, 20 minutes at Hardhome. This was a huge change from the books, and I don't even care because this scene was awesome. This scene started off and I was really disinterested. I wanted to get back to Daenerys and Tyrion, and then shit went crazy. We saw Rattleshirt and then quickly said bye to Rattleshirt. I thought for sure we were getting Vale with the wildling woman, but that hope got crushed very quickly. I want to point out that we had about 15-ish minutes with this woman, and I loved her like 5 minutes in. She was a strong wildling leader, written very well. That being said, what the hell happened with the Sand Snakes? You just showed us you can make us love a character in mere minutes, but you can't do that with 3 ladies in multiple episodes? Something is wrong here. Anyways, the meeting with the wildling leaders was a fun scene. Not sure why Jon would lead with, I shot him with an arrow. Jon, come on man, diplomacy. Saying you killed a guy that tons of wildlings rallied around is not a great way to go about making friends. And we got 1-1, and I also love the I hate Thens line. So then the wildlings are leaving, and we see Not Vale saying goodbye to her children, and did anyone not think she was a goner? 1. You don't make a promise to someone that you'll be back. That never ends well. 2. You don't stare with vague sadness on your face as your children are rowed away. That exchange made me go, oh damn it. You made us love her just to take her away, you sick bastards. The fight scene I rank as one of the best in all seasons of Game of Thrones. I can see why this battle took weeks to film. It was crazy. And can we take a moment to acknowledge that we basically now have confirmation that Valyrian steel is dragon steel and works just as well as dragonglass? Yeah, we suspected it for a long time, but I feel like this is almost definitive proof we're right. And I say almost because I try not to take any show material as canon for the books or proof of anything, but after screaming in excitement for 60 seconds after Jon's sword killed the other, I'm holding on to this. The only thing that could have made the scene better was a witty line by Jon after killing the other. Maybe not. Also the build-up. We've seen seasons and books of political build-up. Littlefinger maneuvering, Cersei doing her stupid plans, and I say plans in quotations. Daenerys planning to take Westeros, Stannis trying to take the Iron Throne. But none of that means anything when an army of the dead descends on you and destroys an already divided at-war realm. The end shot was terrifying. The Night King is staring Jon down as they, for some reason, don't row the hell away as fast as they can, and he slowly raises his arms. At first I thought he was going to raise something out of the water to attack the boat, and then I thought it was just like some badass way of saying, oh, come at me bro, which I'm posting an image someone else on Tumblr made where it's titled Come At Me Crow, which admittedly their image was better than the one I made that said come at me bro. Watching the dead rise was even better though. I'm debating whether the Night King Jon stare down was the Night King being like, yeah, you killed one other, but I have an unstoppable army of the dead, and the more of you that I cut down, the more of us there are. Or if the Night King sees something in Jon. I don't want to call it early because I hate making statements on things that aren't proven to be true, but did the whole Hardhome fight scene basically throw in our faces that Jon is the prince that was promised, or Azor Ahai? Because it kind of felt like that's what was being shown. So anyways, this episode had the least amount of material from the published books, and it still blew me away. We got so much, and I have renewed hope that the last 2 episodes are going to be amazing. Thanks for watching, and make sure you come back every Sunday and Wednesday for more Game of Thrones videos.